everyone, just Ryan here from Voyager, another Voyager Vault. This time we are talking with one of our awesome wholesalers, Mark from GTB. Are you there, Mark?
Yes, I am. G'day, Ryan.
Nice. Oh, nice to see you. I'm going to put us on two screens. You're much better looking. I've got some, what do you got? Wine in the background. I've got whiskey. So, I don't know.
It's empty, though.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
empty.
same. So is mine. Hey, what I wanted to quickly do is get an idea. I love your name, GTB. I know what it means in its extended version. But give us a bit of the brief history of how you guys started out, how you became to be, and I guess the acronym behind GTB as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. GTB was Get the Best Limited, 1999, set up by Sarah McMurray, who'd sort of had babies and was now thinking, well, what can I do? And she used to be a high-flying systems engineer. And so what she wanted to do was bring to local businesses and people in Kapiti the corporate quality of IT care, but without the corporate baggage and without the corporate price tag for sure, because we work with small businesses. And I was her business coach for quite a while, and then eventually I got involved as a director about 14 years ago. And one of the first things I suggested was that we change away from Get the Best Limited because it was powerful but also quite vague. And so we made it GTB IT Solutions Limited. Our clients still call us Get the Best because we still got many clients from back in those days. But that was the gift behind it. And what it comes from Sarah saying and me saying, hey, look, if you're in business, right, you're going to spend money on IT. Because what are you going to do? Go back to pen and paper?
Yeah.
I don't think so. And if you're in business and you're spending money, then you want to get a return. You want to get a return on that investment. And so what we're here to do is help you get the best return on your IT spend that you could possibly get.
Nice. I don't know, like as a marketer, it seems so simple, but it really hits exactly what you're trying to say. Get the best and offer a kind of a premium service in your market. So just extend a little bit on those areas where you do work in. Obviously you talked about Kapiti. Are you guys looking to go through the country? What are you trying to achieve?
Oh yeah, the solar system. No, we started here local, and I met Sarah through BNI. Probably people watching are familiar with BNI, and it certainly started here. But then about 14, 13 years ago, we brought out another guy who came to work with us, and he had a bunch of medical practices. And so we refocused the business onto professional practices who are busy. And what they need is they need IT support, and this includes obviously the telephony, and they include everything IT, and they want one company to go because they're not big businesses. They don't want to be dealing with different people. They just want to have one company that they can go with that they trust to look after them. And so, for probably 12, 13 years now, more than 50% of our revenues has come from the wider Wellington region outside of Kapiti, and that's a higher percentage these days. We've got quite a lot of clients in the valley and in Wellington and Porirua and up in Horowhenua, and we are slowly taking on clients around New Zealand. That's not a major aim, but I mean, we've got some lovely people that we look after all around the show.
Nice. And yeah, it's always amazing how you start out and you work well with obviously little areas and then sort of branches out and then people know people, I guess, don't, and that's kind of how it happens as well. Yeah. What's been your biggest insight? I guess let's talk about the elephant in the room, COVID. What challenges did you guys face, I guess, through the COVID pandemic and kind of that outfall as well on top of it? And I guess your businesses that you work with as well. Was there any massive insights for you or changes that you need to do straight away?
I think, to be honest, Ryan, the really short answer to that question is no, not really.
Yeah.
But there is obviously a longer question, and we had a lot of medical centres. We still do, but we're proportionately less so these days. We've been diversifying, and obviously they just went nuts at the time. There was
Yep.
so much they had to do, and we had people, some were working from home, but really it was only because they wanted to, not because they had to.
Yeah.
So there was a period there, and based on Voyager's own incoming call statistics, which I look at every month,
Yeah.
our calls just went through the roof. Did an enormous amount of help desk, and we're a managed service provider, by the way. So most of our clients on a managed service have been for more than 12 years, and so there was a lot of work in the early days of COVID, just getting people set up and working from home securely, safely. People started buying lots of laptops and all that sort of thing. Our other main client groups are lawyers and accountants. I mean, we've got like every sort of business under the sun somewhere there. Not a lot of hospo, not a lot of retail, but every other sort of like office-based business we've got. And frankly, other than the fact that they work from home, the accounting of the world still needs to go on. The
Yeah,
lawyering of the
totally.
world's okay. It did dive off. Not so many house transactions, the conveyancing, but by and large, our workload was still there. And because we were a critical supply chain to a medical centre, we stayed open right throughout. I mean, and the challenges was just keeping it together. The challenges were more along the people side, you know. I mean, it wasn't hard for us to work from home. We used Teams and what have you, and Voyager, people
Yeah,
just took their phones home.
yeah,
And so we were almost as efficient as we were with people working from home, but we do prefer to work in the same office.
yeah, yeah. Some challenges, but like you say, the wheels just had to keep on turning, didn't they? And like you
Absolutely,
say,
of
as a
course.
provider for a medical, I mean, my wife's in medicine as well, indirectly at the hospital as a surgeon, but things just kept on going. So it never really stopped, did it? I guess one of the things, obviously, you're working with some of these really big groups of dynamic groups of people. What's your, I guess, your method to start the conversation as a business owner on your side to start the conversation? What is it? Is it face in the field, or how do you basically start the conversation to get some services to them?
Do you mean to a potential client type
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Yeah, well, most of our clients, I mean, we've got one-man bands and all the rest of it, but most of our clients are sort of fall into the 5 to 50 seat. You
yeah,
know, we've got some bigger, so we're not dealing with huge businesses, and most of them are owned by people.
yeah.
And so normally we'll get a referral in or we'll get an inquiry because our web stuff's been going quite well, or people will hear about us and they'll give me a call. So it depends how they come into it. But basically, remember, I'm a business
Yeah.
development sort of person by trade. I'm not an IT tech, and so what I really want to know is I want to know, well, how's your business going?
Mm,
And the conversation is around that. It's
mm,
around, so what's going on?
mm,
And Sarah will like to say, what's working in your IT at the moment? As one of her questions. And so it's really, yeah, where is your business at? What are you trying to achieve with that business? How is your IT fitting into that? Do you have the right stuff in place? And these days as well, increasingly, are you secure?
mm.
And then just take the conversation forward from that need. And then once got clear on the business need, then you can start thinking about how the IT, how the tech might come together to
Nice,
really
nice.
serve that business to get the best from their IT, you know?
I love that. It sounds like a really solution based business rather than a one cut fits all kind of people. And I guess it has to be with medical and lawyers and accountants and obviously those wider groups that you want to work with as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the products and solutions that you can offer people to make their life a lot easier?
Yeah, how long do you have?
Let's go.
Yeah, no. Sarah and I decided a long time ago, more than a decade ago, it became obvious in terms of how we position ourselves that we're a company that's here to look after these guys, small businesses, and they want their IT to work, right? They want it to be reliable. They want to know that if something goes wrong with it, that there's someone there to sort it, and they want the stuff that's right for them. They don't want the latest, greatest, bleeding edge stuff that's going to cost them a fortune. And so, what we've done over the last decade is basically add products to that product set. Where, if you owned a business, there's a very good chance that everything of your IT we could provide. There's some things we can't; they're just too specialist. And so, at the very least, we'd help you work out how they fit it in, and would refer you off to a decent place. But mostly, whatever you want, you want a help desk for your team. You want, new computers. I just did one just before this call. It's New Zealand, not for profit, New Zealand wide, based in Wellington, need a computer for a new finance officer starting. Crack them out a quote. They say yes, that'll be delivered, all set up, ready to go for them. Servers, you want servers. We've still got a lot of clients on servers, or we can move you up into the cloud, someone's cloud somewhere.
Yeah.
We're a Microsoft partner as well,
Oh
so we've been
wow.
doing 365 for a decade or more. And what else do we do? Phone systems, Ryan. Yeah,
Oh
we do phone
yeah.
systems, and we build websites. And one of the biggest questions people used to ask us 7 or 8 years ago was, "Do you guys do websites?"
Yeah.
And Sarah and I looked at each other, and she said, "Well, I can build them." And
Yeah.
so, with all the templates these days in WordPress, we can check out really nice websites. And on the back of that, it really made us quite good at all the DNS management and all that sort of stuff, which is actually a core part of IT today.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's pretty much
Complete end to
whatever.
end. I'm guessing by the sounds of it, you can help out with most things.
But most things that a small business needs, that our target market needs. It's about aligning what you do and the skills you develop as a team to serving the needs of your target market. And when you're lined up like that, I think it's a good thing.
Speaking of websites, I'm guessing the easiest way to get the ball rolling is probably to contact your website. We better plug that website. What is that? What is it?
Well, it's just GTB,
Oh,
as in get the best. .co.nz.
I love it how you guys just make it easier all the way through. It's just a hell of a lot easier. What I guess I love this question. I always ask business owners is do you guys have a mentor? Do you have someone outside of the business helping you guys out, or is there someone on the back in the back of the background sort of guiding you through to the next level?
Sort of no, but
Hmm.
sort of yes. Because you remember, my background was that's what I was doing for a lot of businesses but I really
Yes.
wanted to be in my own business. But then again, you can't see your own wood for your own trees. We have a couple of people, and our accountant is one of them. He comes here quarterly. We've got a very good relationship. It's the son of the original
Oh,
accountant that we
there you go.
signed up
It
with
was easy, is it? Yeah.
about 1,000 years ago, and so he's an important part of it. Our bank manager was for a while, but that's changed now.
Awesome.
Um, and um, and there are other people, other coaches, and we get external marketing advice. We've got a young guy that used to work for us for a few years now off on his own. He helps us with marketing.
Oh
So we've
wow.
got a bunch of people, but we don't have like a mentor or a coach per se.
Yeah.
So I think we'd be quite hard to coach, to be honest. I
Yeah.
know I would be.
I reckon.
Yeah, and we had a marketing guy through Grow Wellington that was to do with
Oh
the
yeah.
thing that we were developing at the time, and he was great.
Yeah.
And I don't think he said anything that I didn't already know. But the thing is, when you've got him sitting there and he's asking you the questions and you sort of squirm on your seat, and that was very valuable, and it really helped us to focus. This is quite some time ago. It really helped us to focus on our value proposition.
Nice, nice. What would be
So
the
it was
one?
good.
Yeah, nice. What would be the one thing that you would say? This is another question. What would be the one thing that you would tell your younger self to help you out, maybe with business or success, or do we want to go there or not? I'm sure you were a good boy back in the day.
Yeah, well, oh, Lord. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been self-employed now for 23 years. I had
Wow.
a corporate type career
Yeah.
where I was head of a branch of 450 people. Then I became self-employed.
Wow.
Um, Yeah, but probably just to, in terms of GTB, in
Yeah.
terms of my business consulting, which I still do some of,
Yeah.
I pretty much put the hammer to the floor and just went for it. And I wish we'd done more of that sort of thing in GTB. I wish I'd got much more actively involved in the business, and that we'd worked together in the way that we have been doing for the last 8 years or so,
Mm.
to get that stuff kicked off earlier.
Yeah, nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, my old boss was always like, probably drink less, but I mean, that's that's another sort of.
I was going to say that, but
Yeah, but no, yeah, it might not be for this interview. No, that's really cool. What does the future look like for GTB? Where do you want to go in the next 5 years, 2 years, 5 years? Yeah, tell us the long vision for you guys.
yeah, well, the long vision is eventually we pass on the business and retire, because
Happy
you can tell
days.
by all the greyness. But that's not in the near future, and so I think our ultimate vision is for ourselves is about building a business that we're proud of, that's a part of our communities, and that our clients enjoy coming. Like I said, we've got lots of clients going back 40 odd years, and we've got lots of testimonials and Google reviews. And whenever I get one of those, it's really awesome, and so just being happy with what we're doing, and we earn a living out of the business, and that's good. In a more detailed sense, a business plan sense, we're still growing,
Nice.
and I mean, and one of our strategic objectives is still solid growth, safe, solid growth.
Yeah.
Because we need to be careful, and so we're continuously looking to push ourselves out there to take on more clients and bring on more clients in a sustainable way to grow the team, and we're about delivering consistency. We're about systems. We're also about obviously solid quality IT, and so we need to make sure that as we scale, we can manage that, and we've had the systems in place for a long time. So, but you need to stay focused on that, delivering excellence, and really satisfying your customers. And I think when you do that, the growth comes.
Yeah.
So we are still growing, Ryan.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, no, and I agree too. there's nothing stronger than a pat on the back or a 5-star review or a referral from somebody where you grow your business like that. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? What changes have, like, yeah, I know you're only 25. What changes have you seen over the last 10 years, I guess, in that whole communications, telephony kind of, you being in the business for so long? What's been the biggest changes for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, although I'm not a tech, I was always one of these people that bought tech
Yeah.
early and enjoyed it, early adopter. And so I can remember, and this is going back to BNI, that there was someone who came in doing VoIP, and the guy was great, right? Nice guy. And this would have been going back into the mid 2000s, the late 2000s. And the short story is, it didn't really work.
Mm,
And so what I can see, that's what's happened in the whole telephony area, is that the product, and we got onto Voyager. We're very happy about that. Ask me a question about that if you want to.
yeah, I will do.
But but what we saw was it evolved from something that really didn't work that well. It
Yeah,
was flaky, the quality was poor, the cost was not that low, and you would have rather been on an old phone.
yeah.
Was now, of course, they've pulled out all the copper anyway, so you haven't got a lot of choice. But for the last several years, the quality has been. People say, "Wow, that's better than our old phones," and this is going back several years, and
Wow.
and the shift in quality is just amazing, and it's very cost effective for people.
Cool. Let's talk about your first Voyager client. It sounds exciting.
Exciting is not the word I would have described it with at the time, but this is, I'm not even sure how long ago it is. It's 8 years or something like that, and he was already a local medical centre, and we've been a client for several years, and we were looking for a telephony, a phone option where we didn't have to host all the stuff ourselves, right? And other things too. And in this particular client, it was our very first Voyager client. And he knew all the time, there was a Voyager system in the background,
Yeah.
but he is very particular about how he runs his practice. And he is also very, very good at it. And he cares for the details, and he cares to make his practice really efficient. And so we went through this process of really Sarah did, through this process of sitting down with him and listening to what he wanted out of his phone system, because he wanted it that if they dialed in here and the receptionist wasn't there yet, that it diverted here and blah, 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 blah,
Lots
blah.
of
And
things going on.
it was really complex, but we understood fully what he was trying to achieve from a practice point of view. He was trying to make his practice responsive. He wants people to answer the phone, not go to some message, right?
Hmm.
And it was a big deal, and it took a lot of time. But he's still using that same system today, all these years later,
Wow.
and it's a really well thought out system for his practice, so he can deliver value to his patients. And you've got to get into the detail of the story to really get into the detail of the story.
Yeah.
But the short story is, we're very proud of that very first Voyager implementation, and he's referred us to other people
That's
subsequently.
amazing, isn't it? And it's once again a bespoke solution. Person A had a problem. You guys went from the woe to go and sorted it out. And he's obviously got a bit of an automation base there where he can feel confident in his business that his communications are holding true, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. And the Voyager system lets you do that once you've mastered it, because from our end, we don't
Yeah.
have to do all the back end stuff. But once you've mastered the Voyager system, and the Voyager support is great, then, you really can customize a solution of call flow within the business that works for that particular client. We've got another one at the moment. The guys were on a call this morning just finalizing it, and it's a national franchise,
Oh, wow.
and we've pulled them off another large company that I won't mention their name, obviously,
That's
but
all
they
right.
did begin with S, and because they just weren't getting the value in terms of how they communicate with the franchisees all around the country,
Mm.
and how they keep track of calls, because it's an 0800 number sort of thing, and if you lose the incoming call, you might lose the business, so you need to be onto it, yada yada, and they're really happy with the solution that we're building for them within the Voyager platform, and it involves the cell phone agents, so it's ringing on everyone's cell phones. There's not a single hard phone in the whole setup,
Oh, wow.
and that's really exciting to be able to help out that business and work with them to come up with this business solution for this nationwide franchise.
Yeah.
That's happening today.
Oh wow, I love those stories. I don't know, they always make you feel good on hairs on the back of your neck, kind of stand up and
And they should too. It's why we're here. We're here to
yeah,
help
yeah,
people. You know,
totally.
you and me, we both do the same thing. We help people.
We've just talked about Marashan and James. What has been your experience at a personal level with those guys?
Um, Great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, great. One of the things that we offer to our clients, and this is why they'll come to us rather than go to a bigger telco,
yeah,
is because they just get to ring our number and we pick up the phone and go, oh, okay, well, we'll sort that.
mm.
And we feel that Voyager, you know, you're not perfect any more than we
We
are,
can always be better. Yeah,
but you do your best and you are improving, and the sort of culture inside Voyager is one that we like. It's
yeah,
about customer service and fun and friendships, but also about getting stuff done. And so when we need to reach out to Voyager, I can't really think of examples where we've had a bad experience. Sometimes it might be a more difficult problem, or there might be the occasional glitch. But the thing is, we're in IT, we know that. And what we've basically found is that you guys are here for us, and that's absolutely critical. You know, because I know when I'm sitting in front of a client that I can say to them, "Oh, and our phone system is actually the Voyager phone system
mm.
behind it, but we set it up and what have you, and you deal with us." But the thing is that if there is a problem, you know, and there's not very often, by the way, but if there is, we can just reach out to them and get super fast response because they take us seriously.
Mm.
And so, yeah, it's been a very good experience, Ryan. We've got the Voyager system, or GTB phones, as we call them, obviously,
Yeah.
in all sorts of different businesses, not just the professional
Oh,
practices.
totally.
I mean, you know, there's an automotive workshop that's recently gone through a major expansion, not very far from where I'm standing now, and we've helped them with that. And they first met us because they had a phone system that just was not working, you know, just a single line copper sort of thing.
Oh
And we
wow.
put them on the Voyager and had a couple of phones, and now they've got, you know, a dozen phones or something because they've got just this massive new building. And so they've got nothing to do with professional practices. You
Yep.
know, we've also we've got a pharmacy, you know, that we're hoping to get the phones into fairly soon. It'll be quite good for those. Got a bakery not a million
Wow.
miles from here, you know,
Yeah.
that's got the Voyager phones. So as long as the phones have a sort of an office, we can put them in really to suit. I mean, the bakery's it's a great big space,
Yeah.
you know, and it was a different sort of challenge to put the phones into there. So, you know, just reinforcing it's not just accountants and lawyers, it's actually anyone who needs a phone system with a you know, like an 04, 06, 0800 type number. You know, and we've got that guy in Australia. We've got a video on
Oh
our own
yes.
website.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that.
Ross, you know,
Yeah.
and he runs an Australian business, web-based business from New Zealand,
Yeah.
and people dial a 1-800 number in Australia, and it rings on his cell phone, and he
Wow.
absolutely loves it. So the system's very, very flexible.
Yeah.
The only
And you
people
can
we
work
don't
from
have is
one to many. And you know, as far you know, ultimately you want to work with more than one person. I'm guessing, of course, but
oh,
you can work right up to the scale, and you need to in different industries.
absolutely. But I mean, you know, this person who's got this, there's two of them on the phone, and I'm very happy to work with them
Yeah.
because you know what he's doing is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great story. It's on our website, GTB website.
Nice.
His case study, and he's using this phone system in a very smart way to generate business in Australia, which I think is great.
Win-win all round,
Yeah,
really, isn't it? Yeah. At the end of the
yeah.
day.
Well, if you're Kiwi, yeah.
Yeah. So what's the best way to start the ball rolling? You know, we'll throw in the website and the phone number as well. How do people get in touch with you to help grow their business through good IT solutions?
Well, sometimes all they might want is someone to show them through a good phone system that's going to work, and that's fine. We're happy just to do the phone system, and we've got a few clients like that.
Mhm.
So if that's what people are thinking, yeah, get in touch. But on the other hand, if you are thinking, if the person out there is thinking that they really want an IT company that they can build a long-term relationship with, and that's going to look after them, and it's going to be able to provide everything they need, be it from the network to the phones, whatever, then for sure get in touch. And GTB's website, gtb.co.nz.
Easy.
Um, or, yeah, we've got an 04 number that's also on the website, 04297 1040. And I can make a mean cup of tea if anyone's in Paparumu.
Yeah, you said
We're,
that
we're
wine's
just,
easy in the back though, eh? So yeah, well, yeah, yeah. You can always start off with a coffee and go from there, tea or
we've
whatever
got
stuff.
Dark Horse just around the corner.
Oh,
Excellent coffee.
oh,
I'll take you
nothing
there.
wrong with that at all. Nice. Hey, no, I really appreciate your time. I love your passion for your business. It really shines through. I love the fact that you guys are just solution based through and through. It's not a one size fits all. I love the fact that you really care. I know this sounds really strange as a business, but you really do care about when people have a good experience, and you're there to help them out. So it's been an awesome interview just to learn a bit more about GTB, but also, I don't know, like there's always it feels fuzzy when you speak to a businessman who knows what they're talking about and a business that knows what they're doing. So I really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you, Ryan. That's lovely.
No worries. Awesome. Cool.